Alright, today we're going to work on taking fractions and turning them into percents. It's going to take us 2 steps to do this. The first step is going to be take our fraction, and we're going to take it to a decimal, and then take our decimal and go to a percent. Now, we do this by, go to a new page, all fractions look like this big old division symbol. So when you've got a fraction like 1/4, that is actually telling you need to take 1 and divide it by 4. And you can either do this mental math or use a calculator, and you would end up getting 0.25. So now we want to take our 0.25, and like on the previous page, it says turn our decimal into a percent. In order to go from decimal to percent, I'll write that up here. You need to times by 100. So if you take 0.25 and you times it by 100, you would get 25%. So on the next page, we can say that 1/4 is equal to 25%. Let's look at another one. We can take something like, let's go with 5/9, and we're going to turn it into some sort of percent. First thing we need to do is we need to take our 5 and divide it by 9. And if you do this on a calculator, do not erase the screen yet, but you're going to get something like 0.5555, and it's going to continue on. So you're going to take that 0.55555. You are not going to clear your screen, so you're going to take this 0.5555, so on, and you are going to times it by 100, and it will give you 55.5555, and that would be percent. But never would you see it like that. If anything, they're probably going to round it to the nearest whole number. So it would be here. So 5's going to look at 5 and say, hey dude, am I good enough to become a 6, or do I got to say myself? 5's going to say, dude, you're good enough to become a 6. Guy on the left, you were no part, you stay yourself. Everybody else, you become zeros. When you have a decimal followed by a bunch of zeros, you do not need to write those. Mathematicians waste a lot of paper, pencil, lead, ink, so we ignore those. So we can just take those off, and we would get 56%. Let's look at another problem. Let's take the fraction of, I'm going to choose ones that I kind of have memorized, 3/4, and turn it into a percent. So step 1, we need to take 3 divided by 4, and you're going to get something like 0.75. Next step is you're going to take your decimal, 0.75, and you are going to times it by 100, which equals 75%. And we can do one more. Let's take 8/10 and turn it into a percent. So it equals what percent? So first we go 8 divided by 10, and you should get like 0.8. And then you're going to take your 0.8 and you're going to times it by 100, and you will get 80. So 8/10 is equal to 80. I hope this helped out with turning fractions into percents. I'm going to extend it a little further. I'm actually going to take our percents here. So let's say you got a 50% on your test, and you want to know what fraction it is. You simply, step one is you take your percent and you put it over top of 100, because all fractions or all percents are out of 100. So you are simply going to go, you got 50 over 100, so you got 50 hundredths. Or if you have a very smart calculator, you should have a button on there that looks something like A, B, C. You can simply type in your fractions. Let's say you had the fraction of, well, we'll look at that one. You had 50 hundredths. You would type in 50. You would then hit that A, B, C button. Then you would type in 100. And you would hit that A, B, C button. And next you would click the equal. And it would actually simplify it down for you and make it 1/2. I think on most calculators it would look like 1 line 2. So using a calculator is pretty easy. Taking a fraction to a percent, you can simply take your 33%. You can put the 33, hit that A, B, C button, type in your 100, because remember all fractions or all percents are out of 100, and then you would hit the A, B, C button one more time, and then you would hit the equal sign, and you would get 1/3. I hope this helped you out. If you have any other questions or concerns, please let me know.